It's strange. We talk a lot about body autonomy, right? A right to decide what happens to our bodies. But what about mind autonomy? What about the right to decide what happens to our minds? If we are truly free, we should have the freedom to think whatever we want to think. And then we wonder why we share these views, why we behave in certain ways, why we think the way we do. Well, often it's because we've been nudged in that direction. He suggests that the media promotes a particular type of consent, not through direct coercion, but by shaping public opinion in favor of dominant ideologies. Chomsky highlights how the media often acts as a conduit for government propaganda, shaping public perception of political events and issues in a manner that benefits those in power. We've been steered towards accepting certain truths as our own, and the more we repeat those truths, the more real they seem. The erosion of our attention spans due to constant distraction is a testament to how effectively these techniques work. And yet there is hope. One possible explanation lies in our innate human desire for authenticity and meaning. As more and more people question the information they receive in traditional classrooms, they are seeking out alternative learning experiences that offer a broader and more inclusive perspective. Online courses and independent research are providing individuals with the opportunity to explore topics that are often overlooked or dismissed in conventional academic settings. This pursuit of knowledge outside the confines of traditional institutions is fostering a sense of empowerment and intellectual freedom among individuals. By taking charge of their own learning, people are expanding their understanding of the world and their place in it. It's ultimately leading to a more awakened state of consciousness. And the architects of influence know that negativity holds a potent sway over the human psyche. Each threat is designed to evoke a specific response, a response that aligns with the agenda of those in power. While those in power may exploit fear to manipulate and control, we can also harness fear as a catalyst for positive change. Fear of losing loved ones can drive us to prioritize their safety and well-being, motivating us to create safer environments. Well, the first step is awareness. We must recognize that we are all susceptible to mental conditioning. It's okay to say, "I don't know," or "I'm still figuring it out." We don't have to have all the answers. And as you awaken, you will realize that it was never an illusion. It was always real. It was always real. It was never a conspiracy. It was always a fact. It just hoped you would never know. Asking questions is a powerful tool in this journey. Don't be afraid to ask why. Dig deeper to uncover the motivations, biases, and agendas behind the information you consume. Who is presenting it and why? What might be the hidden influences at play? And that our beliefs and behaviors are often shaped by external influences. Next is critical thinking. We must learn to question everything we see and hear, not just blindly accepting what is presented to us. This means being skeptical, researching information, and considering alternative perspectives. Fear of environmental damage can inspire us to protect and preserve our planet's resources. Pushing us towards sustainable practices, fear of economic instability can propel us to seek financial security, encouraging us to build resilient systems. When we are gripped by fear, we become more susceptible to manipulation, more likely to accept measures that curtail our freedoms in exchange for a promise of security. In such a climate, dissenting voices are often silenced and unquestioning obedience becomes the norm. Utilizing this knowledge, they strategically inject fear into every aspect of our lives, from politics to health to the economy. Fear becomes the chisel that carves our thoughts, shaping our opinions and actions. It's through fear that they gain control, steering us towards the outcomes they desire. In a world where everything seems artificial and programmed, people long for something real, something that connects them to their core essence. This yearning for authenticity drives them to seek out alternative sources of information and experiences that go beyond the curated realities presented by mainstream media. Across the noise, amidst the chaos, there is a growing number of people who are beginning to awaken, who are questioning the narratives presented to them. We can either succumb to its paralyzing grip or choose to channel it into a force for good. By acknowledging and understanding our fear, we can navigate its influence more effectively and ensure that it does not become a tool for control. These individuals are developing a sense of agency, choosing to disconnect from the noise in order to reconnect with their authentic selves. People are recognizing the importance of mindfulness and introspection in navigating the complexities of modern life. They are seeking solace in nature, engaging in activities that promote self-reflection, and disconnecting from the constant barrage of digital stimulation. This intentional disconnection allows individuals to reconnect with their inner selves, fostering a sense of peace and clarity amidst the chaos of everyday life. They are seeking connection with something deeper, something more profound than the curated realities offered to them. People are actively seeking ways to reconnect with their inner selves and cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in their lives. The quest for authenticity and deeper meaning is leading individuals to reevaluate their consumption habits as well. There's a growing preference for locally sourced, ethically produced goods and services. People are becoming more conscious of the impact of their choices and are actively supporting businesses that align with their values. This shift towards conscious consumerism reflects a desire to live in harmony with one's values and contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world. Imagine a world before labels, before categories, before names. Now imagine that same world as it's being experienced by a child. All they know is touch, feeling, sensation. Then comes a moment that changes everything. They are named, they are labeled, they are categorized. John, boy, American, Christian, consumer. These words become the bars of their mental prison. And as they grow, these bars become stronger, more unassailable. If we are truly sovereign, we should have the power to decide what beliefs, values, opinions, and ideas we hold. In Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, the concept of the feelies is explored as a form of manufactured consent. The feelies are three-dimensional movies that immerse the audience in a simulated reality, blurring the line between fiction and reality. Through this technology, the world state controls the emotions and perceptions of its citizens, keeping them entertained and distracted from any form of dissent or questioning the system. Shouldn't we be able to recognize when someone is trying to influence our thoughts, shape our beliefs, program our minds? Why do we allow it when we hear phrases like New World Order or globalist conspiracy? Do we dismiss them as crazy theories? Or do we take a moment to think critically, to question the very idea of global governance? When we hear deep state, do we immediately jump to conclusions, or do we investigate, seeking evidence and clarity? If we are to reclaim our minds, we must cultivate this critical stance. It's not about believing everything we hear or see. It's about approaching information with a healthy dose of skepticism until we verify its authenticity. But are we? Are we really free to think our own thoughts? Do we really have the freedom to decide what goes on inside our minds? In an era defined by surveillance, social engineering, and algorithmic manipulation, the answer is becoming increasingly difficult to swallow. Today we're delving into the idea that if there really is such thing as mind control, it's not physical, it's invisible. It's not chains and prisons. It is the art of shaping perception, a silent orchestra of symbols, stories, and suggestions that play our minds like instruments. It's happening whether we realize it or not, and it's time for us to wake up. We live in an age of curated realities. We are selectively shown images, sounds, and narratives that reinforce certain perspectives, while others fade away. But why wouldn't we be aware of this process? In his book, Manufacturing Consent, Noam Chomsky argues that the mass media plays a crucial role in upholding the status quo. To truly understand how this operates, we must look at the origins of our modern ideas of good and evil. And so begins the great forgetting, the forgetting of who we truly are. As consumers of media, it's essential to recognize the potential impact of such immersive technologies on our perception and decision-making abilities. But why is this happening? Why is there a growing number of people who are starting to tune out the noise? What is driving this shift in consciousness? Another contributing factor is the increasing awareness of the limitations of mainstream education systems. The act of disconnecting from the digital world and reconnecting with oneself is a significant part of this awakening process. This growing trend towards authenticity and self-discovery is evident in various aspects of society, from the popularity of mindfulness and meditation practices to the resurgence of interest in spirituality and alternative healing methods. By making conscious choices in their daily lives, individuals are not only shaping their own destinies, but also contributing to a broader cultural shift towards authenticity, self-awareness, and social responsibility. In today's world, our minds are constantly bombarded with information, both positive and negative. Consider the numerous threats we face: terrorism, pandemics, climate change, economic collapse. However, it is important to recognize that fear is a powerful motivator that can be used for both positive and negative outcomes. Ultimately, it is up to us to decide how we respond to fear. So what is the solution? How do we regain control of our minds in this age of invisible programming? Cultivating mental flexibility is also crucial. Being open to changing our beliefs and opinions when faced with new information and evidence is key. Remember, the greatest trick they ever played was convincing you that it was all a grand illusion.